Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of NoDQ&A video right here on youtube.com/NoDQCAW and of course NoDQ.com. I'm here to answer your questions about WWE and TNA to the best of my ability, so let's get right down to it. This is from Mr. Sep EV. Hi Aaron, I think I have a question you have never answered before. Who is in your opinion the best wrestler in the world at this moment? In my opinion, Daniel Bryan. Wow, what a shock. An internet fan says his favorite wrestler is Daniel Bryan. But, I mean, one could definitely argue for Daniel Bryan. He's had a tremendous 2012, but I think I'm going to have to go with CM Punk because CM Punk has been the WWE champion throughout the entire year. He's had tremendous feuds with guys like Chris Jericho, Daniel Bryan, and John Cena. CM Punk has been at the top in WWE. He's been on a complete roll. So I would have to go with Punk, but you could definitely argue Daniel Bryan. And I know a lot of people are going to laugh about this, but I think you could argue for John Cena as well. I mean, John Cena and CM Punk had an excellent match at Night of Champions, and it takes two to tango. Also, John Cena had a very memorable match with Brock Lesnar back at Extreme Rules, and John Cena continues to be the top star in WWE. So it really depends on what your criteria is for best wrestler. Is it best technical wrestler, or is it best overall wrestler / entertainer? So those are the things you have to look for. Ryan Black 89. Obviously the match that needs to happen at WrestleMania within the next few years is Cena versus Taker. Being that Cena has the never give up attitude and Taker just won't die, I would like to see them in an I Quit match. I understand some fans wouldn't like to add a stip. That's actually a really interesting stipulation because, yeah, Undertaker is not known for submitting and John Cena never gives up. He's never tapped out, to my knowledge. Perhaps he did at some point, maybe earlier in his career. But both guys are known not to quit, so what better way than to put them in an I Quit match? Now, of course, I don't think this match is going to happen, at least with the I Quit stipulation, because I just don't see WWE wanting to book that match where they have to have one of those guys actually quit. I just don't see them doing that. And it is a nice match on paper, but I don't think that there's a realistic chance of it happening. Now, John Cena versus Undertaker in a regular one-on-one match, definitely a possibility. Maybe for WrestleMania 30, who knows? But hopefully it happens because that is the one really big match that WWE hasn't done yet. And I'm sure a lot of fans would be disappointed if it doesn't happen. And it's a missed opportunity if they don't do it, in my opinion. Hey Aaron, do you think that wrestling can become as popular as it was during the Attitude Era again someday? Greetings from Finland. It's really hard to say because you never know when the next big thing is going to come along. It could happen out of nowhere. Now, will wrestling ever be as popular as it was in the late 90s? It's hard to say that it will be as popular because wrestling was in a special place in the late 90s. You had it wasn't just the Attitude Era, but it was the competition between WWE and WCW, the Monday Night Wars, and we're probably never going to have that type of situation again. I mean, TNA keeps trying, but they're not even close to WWE's level. So I don't know if that magic will be able to be recreated at some point, and that's what really made wrestling over the top in terms of popularity, the two companies going head-to-head on Monday nights. So I don't know if we're ever going to see it again in our lifetime. I mean, Vince Russo might be right on that regard, that wrestling hit its peak and now it's back to a certain level and that's where it's going to stay for the foreseeable future. This is from STate01. Hey Aaron, love the show and the website. Big fan from Scotland. What do you think about the reports of the WWE and All Japan Pro Wrestling partnership? Also, if Jeff Hardy was to have one final run in WWE, how would you book it? Please answer on video. Well, the WWE relationship with All Japan is definitely an interesting situation because WWE is not known for having these relationships with outside wrestling promotions. Just historically, they've shied away from working with other companies. So I'm interested to see where things go with this. I don't know if it's going to be a long-term thing. I guess there's this idea of having All Japan be part of WWE's developmental system. So we'll see. I mean, it's good for WWE to bring in lots of new wrestlers from all parts of the world. So hopefully they continue to go in that direction because I think it'll make for a better product in the long run. As far as Jeff Hardy goes, having a final run, one good way to book it would be to have him come in and try to get revenge on CM Punk. They can bring back that feud, come back to that feud again, going back to 2009 when Jeff Hardy left. He can come back, try to get revenge on CM Punk. That would definitely be a good way to book that feud. And, maybe put Jeff Hardy in there with John Cena, the big dream match. There's so many guys you can put in there with Jeff Hardy that he hasn't faced yet, like Sheamus. And, just put Jeff Hardy in there with the top stars and the guys that he hasn't worked with yet. This is from DX, Are You Ready? Hey Aaron, is there a reason why Demolition haven't been inducted into the Hall of Fame yet? Has Vince got some beef with them, as they were a very successful tag team back in the late 80s and held the belts for over a year? Please answer in video. I'm not sure. As I mentioned in my top 25 tag teams of all time list, Demolition was originally just supposed to be a knockoff of Legion of Doom. It was WWE trying to have their own version of LOD. And once WWE actually was able to sign LOD, all of a sudden Demolition kind of faded away, and then they soon broke up after LOD arrived on the scene, which is very coincidental. But you cannot deny how successful Demolition was. Even if they were LOD knockoffs, they were just an awesome tag team. They had the look, dressed in all black with the masks, and they're kind of like the Jason Voorhees black masks. They were really cool, and they were very over with the audience, and they were tag team champions longer than any other team. So, in my opinion, they absolutely deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Will it happen? Who knows at this point, but I do think it'll happen down the line, hopefully sooner than later. What did you think of Sergeant Slaughter's run as WWE champ? Do you feel he needed the belt to feud with Hogan? As the match would have been a success anyways, even without the belt, as Hogan was so over and Slaughter got so much heat back then. Please answer in video. Well, basically what happened was, Ultimate Warrior beat Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 6 for the title, and Hogan took time off. He did another movie. I think it was Suburban Commando. Not sure which one, but one of those movies. And Warrior was champion for a while, but then Hogan came back, and Warrior wasn't quite getting as over as champion as WWE was hoping for. He just wasn't able to be quite as successful as Hulk Hogan as champion. So obviously the decision was made to put the belt back on Hogan once he was back full time. And I guess they didn't want to have Hogan beat Warrior and do that rematch. So what happened was Sergeant Slaughter was the transitional champion, the guy that would beat Warrior, and then Hogan could beat Slaughter. And WWE put the title on Slaughter as a way to get it back on Hogan. And unfortunately for WWE, that feud didn't really draw as well as they were hoping. They were originally going to try to pack the Los Angeles Coliseum, which holds 100,000 people, and they didn't sell that many tickets, and they had to move to the sports arena. And then they tried to make an excuse that there was a terrorist threat or some BS. Just a note there. What do you think about the Shawn Michaels John Cena WrestleMania 23 match, and do you think it is underrated at all? I would say that it's underrated because I don't hear people talking about it a lot. But I think that was a really excellent match, and probably the best match on the WrestleMania card. One could argue Undertaker and Batista as well, and that's Undertaker and Batista is usually the match that people talk about most from that WrestleMania. That, and the whole Umaga Bobby Lashley with Vince's hair and Donald Trump and all that. So people tend to forget about Michaels versus John Cena a little bit. That was a really great match, and also I think the fact that a few weeks later, they had this 60-minute match on Raw in the UK, and people tend to remember that match more than the WrestleMania match. So yeah, the WrestleMania match between those two got overshadowed, definitely, but on its own, it was a really great match, and it was deserving of the main event spot at WrestleMania, in my opinion. This is from the Stone Cold Stunner. WWE's been interested in Alex Shelley, but since the lawsuit from TNA, they can't do much. Is it possible, since Sabin may leave TNA, Chris Sabin, do you think that WWE may pick up Sabin as well and reunite Motor City Machine Guns? Please answer in video. I doubt it. The thing is, WWE doesn't like to push something that isn't their creation, so I don't see them doing the Motor City Machine Guns in WWE. Maybe they'll form a tag team under a different name or something like that, but I think it's more likely that they'll be singles wrestlers if those guys do end up in WWE, which isn't a sure thing yet. It's still a rumor at this point. But if WWE is going to try to revamp the cruiserweight division, I could definitely see them trying to pick up Chris Sabin. We'll just have to wait and see where things go with that. And this is from Nikki StirZU. Hey Aaron, what's going on with Bully Ray? It seems from what I saw at No Surrender that he is slowly turning face since this whole thing with Aces and Eights started. What do you think about this and about him as a wrestler? Please answer on video. Well, I wouldn't say that he's turning face. It's like the NWO angle, where when the NWO invaded WCW, all the WCW guys were uniting against the NWO, even the heels. And that's sort of the same thing with the Aces and Eights storyline, where even the heels in TNA are bonding with the baby faces to try to fight off Aces and Eights. So that's really all there is with Bully Ray, and he's doing tremendous as a heel. I mean, Bully Ray has been on a major role in TNA, and he's the closest thing they really have to a breakout star. I mean, he is a major superstar for all these years, but he's created a new identity. He's reinvented himself. He's in the best shape of his life, and he just signed a new contract with TNA. So if I was TNA, I would go all the way with him. I think Bully Ray has the potential to be the top heel in TNA for years to come. All right, that'll wrap it up for this edition of No DQ&A video. Subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQCAW. Spread the word on Facebook and Twitter, and stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest in WWE and TNA. And I'll see you next time for more No DQ&A video.